I'm Glenn from Progressive, and at Progressive, we love our customers. And within our engineering team, shown here, we especially love three things. Our engineering team loves developing new widgets, gadgets, gizmos, mold monitoring systems, fun stuff like that. The second thing our team loves is developing standards and having the finest standards in the industry. So checking by an independent lab, the longevity of our locks versus others, the accuracy of our pins versus others, we love those standards. But the third thing that we also love can sometimes be under the radar a bit, and that's some standards that we're able to provide with configurable part numbers that really streamline a molding or a mold making company. So I'm going to highlight 5 items that configurable part numbers can make life easier for you. First, let's start with a real simple one. Every mold's got ins and outs, and that means most molds have brass extension plugs. Typically, the mold designer will call out the standard part within the bill of materials, and then the part comes in, and then in the shop, the part is then cut to the final length, deburred, tapered, taped up, and then installed in the mold. A lot of those steps can be avoided if instead, in the bill of materials, the final part length is called out in the BOM. So for example, instead of the mold designer rounding up to a 352 L7, just putting in the bill of materials 352 L6.53, for example, will have the part come in already cut, deburred, tapered, taped, and ready to install. Processing angle pins through the shop can also be streamlined with the use of configurable part numbers. So in the bill of materials, rather than placing in the BOM the standard part number for a 5/8 diameter 10-inch long angle pin, that would be an AP625L10, instead place into the BOM the final length of that angle pin. So for example, an AP625L7.244. Then that means that angle pin is going to come in at the final length with a bullet nose already ground on there. So that way, right from the job bin, those parts can be pulled and inserted into the mold at assembly. Progressive has supplied finished, cut-to-length ejector pins for a whole lot of years. Usually that would be for an injection molding company doing a mold refurb of a high cavitation tool and wanting to have all the pins and sleeves come in done. Nothing new there. What is new is that more and more mold builders are putting the finished length of their ejector pins and sleeves in their bill of materials and then ordering it as such. That way, they come in done. And while we do have more keyed pins in our program than anybody else in the industry, we also can supply keyed ejector pins, core pins, or sleeves just by adding a -K at the end of the catalog number. And if we're provided with an Excel spreadsheet, we can also provide serialized etching of pins as well. Last but not least, here's one of our favorites. We introduced bar locks a few years ago, and it's a great way of aligning multi-plate tools. But we knew going into it that we weren't going to be able to capture every single possibility of plate thicknesses out there. So we made it easier for everybody involved to have configurable part numbers have the product arrive in done. So if the guides, for example, are not through a plate but pocketed, we can supply radii in the corner, just add a -R, and that's how it comes in. For the bar, give the standard bar catalog number, add -R, and there's 2 radii that'll be popped on. And for a finished length, for whatever your plate thicknesses might require, just give the finished length and we'll supply that. We maintain the integrity of the bearing surface and we cut off the back, hard mill the counter bores, and then send it to you. So there you have it. That's 5 things that can help streamline a mold building or a molding operation. So brass extension plugs, finished length, come in done. Angle pins, finished length, come in done. Ejector pins cut to length, ejector pins keyed, and then bar locks that could be cut to length to your specifications. So all those things allow your crew to work on what is your profit center and keep the easy things easy and have them come in done. If you have any questions, contact anybody from the Progressive team at 1-800-269-6653 or contact tech@procomps.com, and that's manned by our engineering team, shown here. And somebody will help you out, whether it's a question on one of our products or even a question on somebody else's. We can help out. We'll take that call. So all the best to you, and hope these advantages can get to work for you.